Ever been looked down on just because of what you drive? Let me tell you, folks around here used to laugh at my old Ford. Rust spots, faded paint, toolbox rattling in the back, all of it, until the day they found out I was the one who'd built half the homes they were living in. Yeah, that happened. Funny how respect in a perfect neighborhood can change overnight, all because of an old pickup truck and one queen bee named Karen. So, before we really dive in, hey, quick thing, drop your city and what time you're watching down below, will ya? Always curious where these stories end up. Traveling. All right, picture this. I live in one of those planned neighborhoods. You know the type. Freshly edged lawns, mailboxes straight as soldiers, streets that practically shine, and an HOA with more rules than a federal tax code. Most of the folks here are retired, or they're middle managers who get way too invested in fertilizer blends and measuring their grass twice a week. It's safe, it's quiet, but man, sometimes I feel like I'm living inside a snow globe. Now me? I'm a contractor, 20 years running my own construction company. Custom homes, renovations. A crew of good guys I trust with my life. We're steady, respected, and I've helped more than a few neighbors turn a dated kitchen into something straight off HGTV. But you wouldn't know what to look at. Me. I dress for the job. Jeans, battered boots, t-shirts that used to be white, and of course, that '02 Ford F-250. It ain't pretty, it's honest. Every dent on that thing tells a story. Floods. Last-minute emergencies. Hauling lumber through thunderstorms. Hell, that truck's worth more to me than most people's fancy SUVs. But I guess some folks just can't see past the paint. When I first moved in, I figured if I paid my dues, kept my grass down, and didn't throw wild parties, I'd blend right in. For a minute, it worked. But then came Karen. And if you've ever tangled with an HOA Karen, you already know there's no blending in when you're on her radar. Imagine the stereotype: blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, floral blouse with that iron-to-perfection look, plus a voice that could cut through drywall. She didn't so much walk as power marched, clipboard in hand, every bit the self-appointed sheriff of the block. First time we met, I was unloading lumber out back for a little deck project. She zooms over, eyes locked on my truck like it just landed from Mars. "Excuse me, sir, are you a contractor? We don't allow construction crews to park on the street without prior approval." She's scanning my truck now, dented fender, chipped paint, ladder rack. I can feel the judgment dripping off her words. It's just that this is a family community. We try to keep things tidy. Tidy, huh? I keep my yard clean, I say, trying not to laugh. But she's not done. Yes, but, well, that truck doesn't exactly match the neighborhood aesthetic. I'm biting my tongue. I tell her, "Don't worry. It's not going anywhere it shouldn't." She gives me a tight smile, scribbles something on her clipboard, and hightails it back to her castle. That was strike one. Next week, HOA letter in my mailbox. Violation: vehicle not compliant with neighborhood appearance standards. Fine, $100. I stare at the paper, just dumbfounded. My truck wasn't compliant. What? Am I supposed to haul drywall in a Lexus? So, I go to the next HOA meeting, determined to straighten it out. Sure enough, Karen's right up front, grinning like she's hosting the Oscars. When my turn comes, I stand up, calm as I can. I got a fine for my truck. It's registered, insured, parked in my driveway, and it doesn't leak. What's the problem? Karen leans forward. That syrupy voice coming out. The bylaws state that all visible vehicles must be well-maintained and consistent with community standards. Yours appears industrial. Industrial. I look around the room. Some folks are fidgeting. A couple are barely holding back a grin. "So you're fining me for owning a work truck?" I ask. She puts on her best fake smile. "Not at all. We just ask you park it somewhere less visible." Meaning, hide it out of sight like it's shameful. Fine. She wanted to play games. I've been in the business longer than she's been alphabetizing her spice rack. Minutes to unload tools. She's there, phone snapping photos like she's running TMZ. Felt like I was living under a microscope. The thing is, I was too busy to care. I had bigger fish to fry. At the time, I was managing a massive expansion project. Luxury homes going up 15 minutes away, all contracted through the same developer who'd built our own neighborhood. Guess who was the chief contractor designing all those new homes? That's right, me. One Saturday, I'm hosing off the truck when Karen struts by with her yappy little dog. She stops, looks right at me, loud enough for the whole block to hear. Still driving that old rust bucket, huh? I suppose not everyone can afford better. That one stung a bit, I'll admit. You can fine me, sure, but mocking me in public? That's personal. I smile right back. You know, Karen, you're right. Not everyone can. But some of us like to spend our money on houses, not handbags. Her face? Crimson. She mutters something about respect and storms off. That's when I decided I'd had enough. No more letting her set the tone. 2 weeks later, the HOA kicks off this neighborhood improvement initiative. Fancy name for Karen. Wants everyone to redo their lawns. She's bragging to anyone who'll listen about how she's running the whole thing. So I see my shot. I submit a proposal for driveway expansion and structural enhancement. Wrote it up nice and vague, but it checked every box they asked for. She rubber stamps it without reading the fine print. What I left out was that I'd be bringing in my full construction crew to do it. Legit permits, all by the book. Within days, my house looks like a job site. Trucks, concrete mixers, toolboxes everywhere. Karen's horrified. She storms over, fuming. You can't have this many vehicles here. I just wave the approval in her face. Actually, I can. You signed off on it. She snatches the paper, her jaw clenched tight. You tricked me. Nope, I say. You just didn't read what you signed. She tries everything. Calls code enforcement, emails the HOA board, threatens to suspend the project. But every official she contacts says the same thing. I'm 100% in the clear. Truth is, when you're a licensed contractor with friends in all the right offices, you know how the game works better than the HOA ever could. By week 2, the driveway upgrade is finished. But it's more than a driveway. It's a full front yard overhaul. New concrete, custom stone edging, modern lights, a little retaining wall, the works. Honestly, my house looks like $1,000,000. And there, parked in the center of it all, is my truck, freshly waxed and shining like it just rolled off the lot. One of the other board members stops by, says it's the best thing he's seen all year. Karen's ready to blow a gasket. Then karma rolls in sooner than I expect. The same developer who built our homes hosts this big networking night for all the HOA presidents in the region. Guess who's presenting as head of contracting? Yours truly. I walk out on stage, Karen's front row, and her jaw just about hits the floor. Evening, everyone, I say. I'm Mike, owner of Harrison Contracting. We're behind 80% of the developments in this county, including your own. Karen's face goes white. Afterward, I make a point to find her. Hey Karen, like those slides? By the way, one of the new homes is modeled on your street. Guess who designed the driveways? She just blinks. You? Yep. The old truck guy. She gives me that pinched smile and shuffles off like she's seen a ghost. After that, everything changes. The fines stop, the letters stop. Karen even starts waving at me, sometimes. One afternoon she knocks on my door, holding a plate of cookies. I just wanted to apologize, she says, eyes on her shoes. I may have been a little judgmental. I take the cookies, smile. We all make mistakes, no hard feelings. By the way, if you ever need any driveway work, I do neighbor discounts. She laughs, awkwardly, sure, but it's a start. A few months later, she actually hires my crew to redo her backyard patio. But she didn't know I was the one personally checking the invoices. I didn't charge her extra, but I made sure her new patio faced my sparkling driveway. Now, every morning, she gets to admire that old Ford, the one she tried so hard to get rid of, shining right where it belongs. And here's what I've learned. Success doesn't always show up in a fancy suit or a shiny BMW. Sometimes it's a dusty work truck, a pair of steel-toe boots, and a good laugh at the end of a long day. Next time you feel like judging someone by what they own, just remember, the guy with the old pickup might have been the one who built your house. So what do you think? Was I too petty, or was that just a little bit of sweet justice? Ever had a run-in with a neighborhood Karen or an HOA that pushed you too far? Drop your story below. I want to hear it all. And if you enjoyed this ride, hit like, subscribe, and let's keep these tales rolling. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't loud. It's parking your old truck right in the center of a perfect postcard, grinning from ear to ear.